Before anything else, pause and breathe with intention. Feel the subtle current running beneath your skin, the quiet stirring in your chest that has no logical explanation. You were not led here by accident. On February 28th, a rare and intimate alignment unfolds as Mercury joins Venus in the sky. And this conjunction is more than astrology. It is a love portal, a sacred corridor where thought merges with feeling and unspoken truth begins to rise. If you feel resonance already, subscribe and comment, "I receive," to anchor yourself into this moment. Because what is happening now is not passive energy drifting through space. It is a direct transmission meant for you. There are certain days when the cosmos seems to lean closer to Earth, when the veil between logic and intuition thins, when destiny clears its throat and prepares to speak. Today carries that frequency. Mercury, the messenger of the mind, steps into the embrace of Venus, guardian of love, beauty, longing, and emotional truth. When communication fuses with the heart, silence cannot hold its structure for long. Somewhere, someone connected to your soul is feeling a pressure building, a confession ripening, words forming like stars gathering before dawn. You may sense it as an unexplained anticipation, a flicker of memory, a dream that lingers longer than usual. This is not fantasy. This is alignment. The universe is arranging a moment that has been written in energetic ink long before you consciously recognized it. And you can feel the shift beginning. Before we go deeper, I want to share something I've created for those of you who are ready to truly shift your emotional patterns. My 7-day emotional reset guide audiobook is designed to gently help you release, overwhelm, regulate your inner world, and reconnect with your grounded self. Many people don't realize how much emotional clarity can transform their relationships, decisions, and daily peace. The link is in the description and pinned comment. Explore it, and if it resonates with you, implement it in your life. Every sacred opening begins with tension, and if the last few days have felt emotionally charged, that is not coincidence. You may have experienced waves of nostalgia, unfinished conversations replaying in your thoughts, sudden longing surfacing without warning, or a sense that something unresolved is pressing against your awareness. This is not regression, it is recalibration. Mercury governs perception, articulation, the structure of thought itself, while Venus governs attraction, connection, and the subtle currents of the heart. When these forces converge, suppressed truths gain momentum, pride begins to fracture, emotional walls develop cracks. Someone who once chose silence is now confronted by the weight of what was left unsaid. And you, on your side of the energetic equation, may feel both grounded and tender at once. That duality is sacred. It signals expansion. It signals that your heart has grown beyond fear. The tension you sense is not chaos. It is the space between concealment and revelation. Confessions are not random impulses. They are energetic inevitabilities that occur when truth outweighs avoidance. Your vibration has been rising. Through healing, reflection, detachment, and self-worth, you have shifted. That internal elevation has echoed outward, reaching the person tethered to your emotional field. They may not consciously understand why your presence feels louder in their thoughts, but they feel the pull intensifying. And as Mercury aligns with Venus, clarity begins to overpower hesitation. The moment of expression draws closer. Look at the signs surrounding you. Repeating numbers that seem to follow your gaze. Songs that surface at precise moments, their name appearing unexpectedly. Dreams that feel more prophetic than symbolic. intuitive flashes that arrive fully formed without logical origin. These are not random fragments of imagination. When two souls share resonance, communication begins in the unseen before it manifests in words. Before any message appears in physical form, it vibrates through spirit. You may have noticed an unexpected calm replacing former anxiety, or perhaps an anticipatory stillness, like standing at the edge of a threshold just before stepping through. That sensation is the awareness of a shifting timeline. Multiple versions of reality exist simultaneously. In one version, silence continues. In another, truth disrupts everything. The determining factor is vibration, and you have been choosing growth. Each time you chose healing over obsession, self-respect over pursuit, clarity over confusion, you altered the energetic equation. Lower timelines collapsed quietly. Authenticity gained ground. Mercury conjunct Venus is not merely romantic symbolism. It represents the reconciliation between thought and feeling. It represents someone realizing that what they have been trying to rationalize away is in fact undeniable. The alignment prepares both hearts for honesty. You are not the same version of yourself who once waited anxiously for validation. You are steadier now, stronger, ready to receive without losing yourself. Somewhere, the person connected to your heart is confronting their own internal dialogue. They have replayed moments between you, edited imaginary conversations, drafted messages they never sent. They have hovered over your name in their phone, felt the impulse to reach out, then retreated into hesitation. But the atmosphere has shifted. This conjunction ignites courage through clarity. Mercury sharpens awareness, while Venus dissolves emotional armor, creating a space where vulnerability becomes more tolerable than regret. They are beginning to understand that love left unexpressed becomes a burden, heavier than fear. You might sense this shift as a sudden warmth, a dream visitation, or a wave of memory surfacing without warning. That is because energy precedes action. Before words are spoken, they form in the subtle realms. The confession taking shape within them has already crystallized in the energetic field. Timing is aligning quietly. Obstacles that once felt immovable are loosening their grip behind the scenes. You are not meant to chase this moment into existence. You are meant to allow it. What is destined for you does not require pursuit. It requires readiness. And readiness is exactly what you have cultivated. This alignment carries sacred architecture because it bridges two realms often divided, intellect and emotion. Many connections stagnate when feeling exists without articulation or when logic overrides longing. But when Mercury merges with Venus, mental clarity bows before the truth of the heart. Someone is recognizing that what they feel cannot be dismissed as coincidence or fleeting desire. They may have tried distraction, denial, replacement, or rational analysis. Yet, emotional gravity always pulls the soul back toward its authentic center. Simultaneously, you are experiencing clarity within yourself. Doubts that once echoed loudly are softening. Standards are rising. You are less willing to entertain ambiguity. That internal shift is not accidental, it is catalytic. You did not force, plead, or diminish yourself for attention. You chose elevation, and elevation demands alignment. The love portal is not solely about someone confessing affection, it is about you embodying the self-worth that makes honest love sustainable. This is a rebirth of emotional integrity. You are no longer negotiating your value, you are standing within it. Not all destiny unfolds with dramatic spectacle. Some of the most profound shifts occur quietly, like an invisible lock clicking open, Today carries that understated potency. You may wake with an unexplainable lightness, a subtle detachment from old worries, or a sense that something intangible has realigned. That is the sensation of timeline adjustment. The version of you that once tolerated uncertainty is dissolving. The version of you that sought reassurance at the expense of peace is fading. And as that identity releases, communication must evolve to meet your frequency. Mercury conjunct Venus amplifies honesty, but it also amplifies self-respect. This means that regardless of how the confession arrives, through a message, a call, an encounter, or an unexpected conversation, you will remain grounded. You are no longer seeking to be chosen. You recognize that you already are. This embodiment is magnetic. The portal does not manipulate outcomes. It illuminates truth, and truth reorganizes reality from the inside out. Beyond your visible horizon, movements are unfolding with quiet precision. Conversations are happening in spaces you cannot hear. Realizations are forming in the solitude of someone else's night. The universe arranges moments with deliberate timing, like pieces on a cosmic board shifting into strategic alignment. Delays that once felt painful were protective. Silence that once felt confusing was preparatory. You are being strengthened, refined, emotionally matured for this threshold. If love has tested you recently, understand that pressure reveals authenticity. The version of you standing at this portal is resilient, intuitive, anchored in self-awareness. Destiny does not deliver revelation to a fragile foundation. It waits until stability is established. The confession forming is not an impulsive surge of emotion. It is the culmination of parallel awakenings, two internal journeys gradually synchronizing. Paths that seem to diverge have been subtly curving back toward convergence. The intersection is not dramatic chaos, but conscious alignment. Whether the words arrive today or unfold in the days ahead, the energetic seal has already been broken. Silence no longer holds authority. Truth has entered the field, and once truth awakens, it cannot return to sleep. There is a precise instant when potential becomes action, when energy condenses into words, when thought gathers enough courage to cross the invisible bridge between two souls. That moment is approaching like a quiet sunrise you cannot yet see, but can already feel, warming the horizon. The confession does not erupt out of nowhere. It builds like pressure beneath the surface of still water. You may sense it as restlessness in your body, as heightened intuition, as a sudden pull to check your phone without knowing why. This is the field responding before the form appears. Mercury conjunct. Venus activates the throat chakra of the collective heart, urging what has been hidden to become spoken. And as this current strengthens, the person connected to you feels an undeniable inner push. They are realizing that clarity is kinder than ambiguity, that vulnerability is braver than distance. The message forming within them is no longer optional, it is necessary. And when necessity meets timing, movement becomes inevitable. Understand something deeply. Breaking silence is an initiation. It requires the dismantling of pride, the softening of ego, the surrender of control. The person preparing to confess has wrestled with these internal battles longer than you know. They have questioned their feelings, examined their fears, constructed narratives to protect themselves from rejection. But the alignment now dissolves those protective stories. Mercury brings mental honesty. Venus brings emotional truth. Together, they expose self-deception. They can no longer pretend that indifference is strength. They can no longer convince themselves that distance equals safety. And as their defenses lower, the truth rises with startling clarity. They feel something real for you. You may sense this as a shift in dreams, as a sudden surge of calm, as an intuitive knowing that something is about to change. This is not wishful thinking, it is resonance. When two fields synchronize, one cannot move without the other sensing it. Silence is ending, not because you demanded it, but because authenticity now outweighs fear. When the words finally arrive, however they arrive, understand that you are not merely receiving a message. You are standing at a metaphysical intersection where entire futures wait for your awareness to choose them. A confession is not just language shaped into sentences. It is condensed energy. It is a vibrational key turning in the lock of destiny. For weeks, months, perhaps even years, possibility has hovered between you like mist. Now that mist gathers into rain. Now it falls. Now it touches the earth of reality. In one timeline, ambiguity continued its quiet erosion, slowly draining hope through uncertainty. In another, silence hardened into distance, and distance calcified into separation. But there is a third timeline, the one activating now, where clarity pierces confusion like sunlight through storm clouds. This is the timeline where truth steps forward and says, "Here I am." And when that truth reaches you, whether through trembling voice, carefully crafted text, or unexpected encounter, you will feel the atmosphere shift. The air around you may feel charged, almost sacred. Time may slow. Your heartbeat may steady rather than race. Because deep within, you recognize this as a turning point. This is why your recent inner work has mattered so profoundly. The universe does not deliver revelation to a version of you still clinging to fear. It waits until you can hold the weight of honesty without collapsing into old patterns. You have been tempered like steel in fire. You have sat with uncertainty without losing your dignity. You have chosen self-respect over impulse. And now, when the confession arrives, you will not respond from hunger. You will respond from wholeness. Understand this clearly. The love portal guarantees revelation, not outcome. It guarantees illumination, not fantasy. The confession may be everything you sensed in your intuition, or it may surprise you with nuances you did not expect. But either way, it dismantles illusion. And illusion is what kept you suspended between hope and doubt. Once truth enters the field, you are liberated from guessing. You are free to decide consciously rather than react emotionally. Your response becomes the architect of the next chapter. If the confession aligns with your elevated standards, you may feel expansion, possibility, and grounded excitement. If it falls short of your growth, you will feel that too. Not as devastation, but as clarity. And clarity is mercy. Because clarity allows you to redirect your energy toward what truly resonates. You are not being swept away by destiny. You are collaborating with it. This is the difference between karmic repetition and conscious creation. The moment the confession lands, timelines tremble. Possibilities rearrange themselves around your vibration. And the version of reality that stabilizes will reflect not who you were, but who you have become. As truth surfaces and settles into your awareness, something deeper than thought begins to move through you. Emotions you did not even realize were stored may rise like waves breaking against the shore of your heart. You may feel tears forming without clear sadness, as if your body is releasing an ancient tension it has carried quietly. You may laugh softly at the simplicity of what once felt so complicated. You may sit in stillness, feeling both exposed and profoundly calm. This is purification. When words that have been withheld finally emerge, they do not only clear misunderstanding between two people, they cleanse stagnant energy within your own field. Mercury conjunct Venus activates a reconciliation inside you. The mind that once overanalyzed now softens. The heart that once guarded now breathes. There is an integration happening beneath the surface of your awareness, a harmonizing of masculine and feminine currents within your spirit. Thought and feeling begin to trust one another again. If the confession carries sincerity, you will sense it not through grand gestures, but through subtle coherence. Your nervous system will not spiral. Your body will not brace. Instead, there will be a grounded warmth, a sense of alignment that feels steady rather than intoxicating. And if something feels slightly misaligned, your intuition will whisper clearly, without drama. This is your upgrade. You are no longer mistaking anxiety for chemistry. You are no longer mistaking silence for mystery. You are reading energy accurately. The purification may also bring memories of past disappointments into your awareness, not to reopen wounds, but to demonstrate contrast. You will notice how differently you feel now compared to previous cycles, where once you might have panicked, now you observe. Where once you might have chased reassurance, now you remain centered. This is evolution embodied. Allow whatever emotions arise to move freely through you. Do not judge them. They are not signs of weakness. They are evidence of release. The portal did not open merely to deliver a confession. It opened to clear residue from your emotional body, to wash away lingering doubt, to reset your vibrational baseline. And as this cleansing completes, you feel lighter, not because everything is certain, but because nothing is hidden. Now the deepest revelation emerges, the mirror. How you receive this confession reflects the depth of your self-worth, not in how quickly you respond, not in whether you accept or decline, but in the energy you hold within yourself as you process it. Do you shrink to accommodate someone else's comfort, or do you remain expanded, honoring your standards without apology? This alignment has been teaching you equilibrium, and equilibrium is sacred power. If you have truly integrated your lessons, you will neither grasp desperately at affection nor reject vulnerability out of old fear. You will stand in balanced presence. You will listen fully. You will speak honestly. You will allow space for growth without abandoning your boundaries. This is mature love consciousness. The person confessing may appear uncertain, perhaps even fragile, in their honesty. Vulnerability is rarely polished. It trembles. It searches for reassurance. Your steadiness becomes a container in which transformation can occur. But remember, being steady does not mean being permissive. It means being anchored. You are not responsible for fixing their fears. You are responsible for honoring your truth. Notice how different this feels from past chapters. In the past, you may have measured your worth by someone else's attention. Now, attention is no longer currency. Alignment is. You are not impressed by words alone. You are attuned to consistency, clarity, and integrity. And because you embody these qualities, you magnetize them. This is the shift from karmic entanglement to conscious partnership. Karmic love pulls through intensity and unresolved wounds. Conscious love builds through communication and shared growth. The confession is not the climax, it is the invitation. An invitation to build something new on a foundation of honesty rather than assumption. As you look into this mirror, you may realize that the greatest transformation was never about them at all. It was about you reclaiming your standards, about you recognizing that you deserve to be spoken to directly, chosen clearly, valued openly. The love portal illuminated this truth. And once you see yourself accurately, worthy, grounded, radiant, you can never unsee it. Hold that knowing close. Let it anchor you as the energy continues to unfold. Because no matter what direction this connection takes, one truth remains unshaken. You have stepped into a version of yourself who does not beg for love, does not chase clarity, does not settle for silence. You embody the frequency of honesty now, and honesty reshapes destiny. Once words are spoken, even if only briefly, the field between you recalibrates. Energy that once circled in silence now has direction. Questions that once hovered now have form. This recalibration may feel subtle at first, like air pressure changing before rain, but its impact is profound. Mercury and Venus together harmonize frequencies that were previously misaligned. Conversations may deepen, eye contact may linger longer, emotional transparency may increase in ways that feel almost surreal. Or perhaps the shift occurs internally, giving you closure you didn't know you needed. Either way, stagnation dissolves. Movement replaces suspense, and movement is life. The portal has served its purpose. It has initiated truth. From here, growth becomes possible in ways that silence never allowed. Now comes the sacred part, choice. Destiny is not imposed upon you. It collaborates with you. The confession is an offering, not a command. You are free to accept, to explore, to set boundaries, or to walk away. What matters is that you choose from alignment rather than fear. This is your initiation into conscious love. The universe is observing not to judge, but to respond. Your decision sends ripples through future timelines. If you choose authenticity, authenticity expands. If you choose self-respect, self-respect multiplies. If you choose growth, growth accelerates. You are no longer a passive character in your own story. You are the co-creator. The love portal opened to reveal truth, but what you build from that truth shapes your destiny. And whatever you decide, let it be rooted in the knowing that you are worthy of clarity, worthy of courage, worthy of a love that speaks. Once truth has been spoken, even softly, even imperfectly, it sends a vibration through every layer of your being. You may notice the aftershock in subtle ways. Sleep may feel deeper or strangely vivid. Your thoughts may reorganize themselves around a new center of gravity. Conversations with others may feel lighter, clearer, less charged. This is because honesty restructures energy. When Mercury and Venus complete their sacred meeting, they do not simply deliver a message, they recalibrate the emotional atmosphere of your life. What was once heavy becomes breathable. What was once uncertain becomes defined. Even if the confession does not unfold exactly as you imagined, the very act of expression clears stagnation that has lingered in your field. And you, standing in this new clarity, begin to recognize how far you have come. You are no longer the version of yourself who feared the truth. You are the one who can hold it. Now the deeper work unfolds, not in dramatic gestures, but in the quiet architecture of your inner world. Integration is subtle, sacred, and powerful. The mind, once restless with analysis, begins to soften its sharp edges. The heart, once cautious from old wounds, begins to open without trembling. In the past, these two forces may have felt like rivals inside you, logic warning you to protect yourself while emotion urged you to leap. That internal tug-of-war created confusion, second-guessing, and cycles of doubt. But this alignment was never meant to intensify conflict. It was designed to reconcile it. Mercury brings lucidity. It asks you to articulate what you need, to examine motives, to speak clearly without distortion. Venus brings compassion. She reminds you that love thrives in warmth, not interrogation. When these two energies harmonize, something remarkable happens within you. Your thoughts no longer sabotage your feelings. Your feelings no longer override your wisdom. Instead, they collaborate. You begin to experience coherence, a state where intuition and reasoning arrive at the same conclusion. You may notice this integration in simple ways. When you reflect on the confession, your mind does not spiral into catastrophic scenarios. It evaluates calmly. When your heart responds, it does so without desperation. There is space between stimulus and response. In that space lives sovereignty. You are no longer reacting from unhealed triggers. You are responding from integrated awareness. This integration also reveals truths that once hid beneath noise. You can discern tone beyond words. You can sense intention beneath action. You can identify when something feels aligned, not because it is intoxicating, but because it is steady. The nervous system plays a crucial role here. Excitement may flutter briefly, but beneath it lies grounded peace. And peace is the true indicator of alignment. You are learning that love is not meant to destabilize you. It is meant to deepen you. When mind and heart function as allies rather than adversaries, your relationships reflect that harmony. Conversations become constructive rather than reactive. Boundaries become clear without hostility. Affection becomes an offering rather than a bargaining chip. This is the true activation hidden within the love portal. Not merely that someone found the courage to speak, but that you found the capacity to hold both reason and romance without fracturing. Integration is maturity. Integration is strength wrapped in softness. Integration is the end of inner war. And from this integrated state, every decision you make carries greater clarity. You are no longer choosing from impulse or fear. You are choosing from balance. That balance radiates outward, shaping the quality of every connection you allow into your life. With integration comes dismantling. As truth enters your life and coherence anchors within you, the old structures that once defined your romantic experiences begin to crumble. These structures were built from unconscious beliefs that love requires sacrifice of self, that intensity equals compatibility, that uncertainty is a sign of depth. But now those narratives feel outdated, almost foreign. You can see them clearly, like relics from another lifetime. This is the collapse of pattern. For years, perhaps, you repeated similar dynamics with different faces. The same emotional script, the same rise and fall, the same confusion disguised as passion. But patterns cannot survive awareness. Once illuminated, they lose their power. And this confession, arriving at this precise stage of your evolution, exposes how far you have traveled beyond those cycles. You are no longer attracted to emotional inconsistency. You are no longer magnetized by silence or mixed signals. What once felt thrilling now feels exhausting. Your nervous system has recalibrated. It seeks steadiness over chaos. It prefers clarity over intensity. This collapse may feel bittersweet at first. There can be nostalgia for the drama, the unpredictability, the adrenaline of not knowing. But beneath that nostalgia lies relief. You no longer crave roller coasters. You crave resonance. You crave a connection where communication flows rather than stalls. If the person confessing has evolved alongside you, you will sense that shift. You will notice accountability where there was once avoidance. You will hear intention where there was once vagueness. And if they have not evolved, the contrast will be unmistakable. Either way, the pattern cannot resume. Your awareness will not allow it. The beauty of this collapse is liberation. When old cycles dissolve, space opens for new dynamics to form, and new dynamics carry the imprint of your growth. They reflect your standards, your boundaries, your emotional intelligence. You are no longer repeating history, you are rewriting it. This is not merely about one relationship, it is about the architecture of how you relate. The confession becomes a catalyst, but the transformation is systemic. You are stepping out of karmic loops and into conscious design. And once you exit a loop, it cannot pull you back with the same force. The collapse of old patterns is not destruction. It is evolution shedding its outdated skin. From integration and collapse emerges something luminous, self-trust. It is not loud. It does not demand validation. It is quiet, rooted, and profoundly magnetic. You trust your perception now. You trust that when something feels aligned, it is not illusion. You trust that when something feels off, you do not need external confirmation to honor that signal. Self-trust transforms your energetic field. It shifts you from seeking reassurance to embodying assurance. When you speak, your words carry weight because they are anchored in certainty. When you listen, you do so without suspicion because you are not projecting fear. This steadiness radiates outward like a calm, gravitational pull. The person who confessed may feel this difference immediately. Your responses are measured, thoughtful, grounded. You are open, but not unguarded. Warm, but not dissolving into them. There is a strength in your softness now, and that strength commands respect. Self-trust also reshapes your expectations. You no longer tolerate ambiguity framed as mystery. You no longer romanticize emotional unavailability. You understand that communication is not a luxury in love. It is oxygen. And because you require oxygen, you refuse to suffocate in silence again. This magnetic field does more than influence one connection. It recalibrates your entire relational ecosystem. Friends respond differently. Opportunities arise differently. Even strangers sense your centered presence. You are not chasing affection, you are attracting alignment. Perhaps most importantly, self-trust dissolves fear of loss. You understand that if something leaves because you upheld your standards, it was never aligned with your destiny. That realization frees you from clinging. It allows you to engage fully without gripping tightly. The love portal has reminded you that truth is magnetic, and you, embodying truth within yourself, become magnetic too. Not because you seek admiration, but because authenticity radiates naturally. Stand in that field. Feel its stability. Notice how different it feels from the anxious energy of the past. This is the vibration of someone who knows their worth and honors it without apology. From this place, every step forward is deliberate. Every connection is evaluated through clarity, and every choice you make continues shaping a destiny aligned not with fear, but with empowered love. Do not limit this portal to a single event. It is a doorway into a broader expansion of your love timeline. Whether this confession leads to reconciliation, renewal, or redirection, it marks the beginning of a new chapter defined by honesty. The energetic architecture of your relationships is evolving. You are attracting connections that speak, that reveal, that participate consciously. The days of guessing games are fading behind you. This expansion may unfold gradually, but its foundation is already set. You have crossed an internal threshold. You understand now that love flourishes in transparency. And because you understand this, you will continue to magnetize experiences that reinforce it. The universe does not test endlessly. It upgrades those who integrate lessons. You have integrated, therefore expansion follows. Beyond romance, beyond confession, beyond any single person, this alignment has awakened something greater within you. Your capacity to lead with authenticity. Love is the training ground for destiny. When you learn to communicate truthfully, to hold boundaries compassionately, to receive vulnerability without fear, you strengthen muscles that serve every area of your life. Your career, your purpose, your friendships, all benefit from this recalibration. You are stepping into a timeline where your voice carries weight, where your heart is not hidden, where your presence influences environments simply by being centered. This is the higher activation hidden within the love portal. It was never only about someone confessing. It was about you remembering your power to create relationships that reflect your growth. Take a deep breath again. Feel the steadiness in your chest. Feel the quiet knowing that something has shifted irrevocably. The portal opened, truth moved, and you remained grounded. That is your victory. Whatever unfolds from here, let it unfold from strength. Affirm to yourself that you are worthy of love that communicates, love that honors, love that evolves. If this message resonated, subscribe to anchor yourself in this community of awakening souls, and comment below with "I am ready" to seal your intention into the field. Know that you are not waiting for destiny. You are walking with it. The love portal has done its work. Now you carry its light forward, speaking your truth, receiving truth from others, and shaping a future aligned with your highest vibration. Silence has dissolved. Clarity has entered, and you stand at the center of your own becoming. And if you feel ready to deepen this inner shift, I've created something to support you. My 7-day Emotional Reset Guide audiobook is a gentle, structured journey to help you clear emotional fog and return to your center. If today's message resonated, you'll likely find real value in it. The link is in the description and pinned comment. Explore it, and if it feels right, begin your reset.